the Croatian football team is a success story.
We are now third place in the world.
It's this small country which really overachieves.
Great atmosphere, fantastic players, beautiful football.
They're playing like one guy. All our players playing as one.
For all Croatian people, be proud. Croatian national team is escape from reality.
It is a temporary release from the issues that are at stake here.
I would rather cut my hands than to go to Russia to support national team.
Croatian fans held a protest by throwing lots of flares onto the pitch.
Nazi fascist chants.
A swastika inscribed onto the pitch.
Corruptions, politics.
It's a miracle that we even qualified.
How Croatia have been doing?
Croatia is doing perfect, much better than we expected.
Before the World Cup, everyone was like, oh no, I don't care, whatever, it's just football.
To begin with, before the tournament started, it was really, really low.
But as the matches went through and we have actually looked great, people have been amazingly very happy, very excited.
They won their first 3 games. They're one of the few teams in the tournament that managed to do that. A lot more convincing than I think anybody had hoped for.
We beat Nigeria, Iceland, Argentina.
Nobody saw, me neither actually, that we will win very clear with Argentina. 3-0 is miracle actually. We wait for that for 20 years.
They have been comparing this team to the Vatrani from '98 a lot. I mean, every press conference, every article ever is comparing these two.
Croatia is still living off of the 3rd place in '98, which in '98 was a really big deal.
Yeah, it was just after the war and everything. It was, the patriotism was very high.
Very much a kind of a celebration of Croatia, and you know, here we are on the world scene. You need to notice us now as a country, and not just for negative things, but also doing well.
Well, this today is just another type of hype. I mean, that we now think that we can actually go and win the whole thing.
We are in some fairy tale right now. Now we don't have any problems. Now it's not a problem because I have only, I don't know, 10 euros in my pocket and I need 300 euros in the next 3 days. Now it's not problem if my wife cheats me. Now it's not, there is no problem. Croatian national team is winning, yes.
They often say, like, when the World Cup and European Championship is happening, we forget about everything that's happening. The situation in Croatia in general is not really good. Lots of people are moving out, not many jobs, the industry and everything. It's not a really good situation for us.
The sport in Croatia is the only thing that brings some joy to the people.
When you have football, it's natural to forget about especially when the players are playing this well. And yeah, it's a good distraction from everything, but I think that everyone will just continue after that to focus on the bad things, actually.
If you compare our national league, if you compare the conditions, it's a miracle that we even qualified.
Croatian football has, in recent years, at least the last decade or so, suffered from quite a lot of problems with regards to corruption, privatization of the club. It's a long and complicated story. It revolves around one person. His name is Zdravko Mamić. He's the owner of this club here, Dinamo Zagreb. Mamić gradually took control of Dinamo Zagreb and eventually of the Football Association here. He has used both as a resource to enrich himself, both through transfers through Dinamo. In terms of the national team, it's about gaining credibility. The Croatian national team is a huge brand. Linking himself to that, he's been able to gain credibility where, in honesty, he doesn't deserve it. I mean, today we can officially call him without any risk of being sued. We can call him a criminal. He's been convicted. He fled to Bosnia. He's still pulling the strings. He's hugely unpopular amongst football supporters.
There are people, fans who wish all the worst for the national team because of that, because of the and relations between Zagreb and Split.
The main rivalry in Croatia is between fans of Dinamo Zagreb here and fans of Hajduk Split. You have the two fan groups, Pablo Boys and Torcida.
In every country you have crazy people who don't like some success from somebody else. In this part it's success of our national team.
They have been showing up on matches, Croatian national team matches in Croatia, trying to stop the matches, throwing flares, chanting awful stuff and everything.
There was a swastika drawn on the pitch in Split when the national team played.
Graffiti and everything that they wish players to do worse. They wish horrible things on Luka Modric, who was a witness against Zdravko Manimic, then he changed his mind.
You've got the players siding with Mamic, possibly to look after their own interests, Modric, Lovren, possibly others as well.
I think that there are other ways to fight against this, and just doing bad things to these players who are giving their all for Croatian national team and showing our country to the world the way that they did through these protests and flares and everything. I think that it could be done much better, but it's Balkan, you know. It's how we do things.
The fans for club matches, yeah, huge rivalry. When the national team plays, it's different.
Football, maybe national pride and everything is winning the match against the politics.
The national identity is hugely, hugely unifying.
They bring it together now because all haters, what they do and how they sabotage also our team, nobody talking about it at the moment because they're playing like one guy. They make us as a nation happy again.
Even people who wouldn't go to matches when say Dinamo play, when the national team plays, they still support it. You know, you want your country to do well. It doesn't mean that you support all of the political things. I mean, look, if you support England, it doesn't mean that you support Theresa May's government. You're not necessarily for Brexit or whatever.
It's very hard to explain my feelings, because in one way I will be the happiest in the world today evening, but the other way I can't be totally happy because I know too much.
I'm not sure it necessarily creates a false image. It's a positive image. It's the side of Croatia that is good.
I mean, it has been a really amazing World Cup, and for country, for Croatia, this means really a lot. We forget about what's happening, all the bad situation in football and in life in general.
The success of the national team does make a difference. You can say that it masks problems. On the other hand, you can say it's this escape, it's a welcome escape as well. It will mean a lot if they can say replicate the 98 team. I think though people want more than that now.
Because we came so far, we don't want to stop.
If Croatia win the World Cup, it would be maybe national holiday the next day or something, because we would need to recover.
There's kind of mini rivalry England-Croatia going back to 2008. There's not as much fear of England. So beating England 10 years ago was, that was a big scalp, because of the reputation, the first time you do it. Beating England now is doable.
More and more people are getting behind Croatia because it's a great team, such a lovable team, and we are a pretty cool country, if I may say so.